Stream us anytime on the CBS News app.
Coming up, President Biden appeals for tougher gun laws in an address to the nation.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. President Biden delivered a primetime televised address tonight after several mass shootings shook the nation and rekindled the national debate on gun reform. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are discussing several proposals.
President Biden is calling for action after a wave of large-scale mass shootings sparked renewed demands for gun reform.
How many more innocent American lives must be taken before we say enough, enough?
The president's Thursday night address to the nation follows the deaths of 19 school children and 2 teachers in Uvalde, Texas, 4 people at a Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital, and 10 at a Buffalo, New York supermarket.
We should reinstate the assault weapons ban on high-capacity magazines that we passed in 1994 with bipartisan support in Congress.
Thursday, a House panel approved the Protecting Our Kids Act, which includes a provision to raise the required age for buying semi-automatic firearms from 18 to 21. If it passes the full House, the measure is unlikely to muster enough support in the evenly divided Senate.
The public is demanding that we take action.
Republicans slammed the hearing as threatening the Second Amendment. Some brought their own weapons.
Here's a Sig Sauer 320. It takes a 20-round magazine.
In the Senate, Maine Republican Susan Collins says a group of senators discussing gun reform is making, quote, rapid progress toward a common sense package.
So we're working, hoping to come up with a bipartisan agreement so we can pass something at the federal level that will actually target this problem.
The Senate negotiations are focused on improving background checks and so-called red flag laws that keep guns from people who could harm themselves or others. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate passed no major gun reform legislation after 20 children were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School back in 2012. A federal judge says the man who shot and wounded President Ronald Reagan in 1981 is on track for an unconditional release in mid-June. John Hinckley Jr. was found not guilty by reason of insanity in a jury trial in 1982. He was treated at a mental hospital and released more than 30 years later in 2016. He's lived in Williamsburg, Virginia with his mother and then on his own after her death in August. He's been under strict travel and internet restrictions. In September, he and the Justice Department reached an agreement to get rid of the conditions. Hinckley has focused on music in recent years, even starting a band in January and announcing plans to start his own record label. We are all looking for ways to save money, and we have some tips on how you can save on your energy bill. Officials say to make sure your air conditioning furnace air filter is changed often. Do not wash your clothes in hot water and lessen your dry time by hanging up things to let them finish drying.
Smart strips usually keep any type of energy from being used in those plugs, but if you're not, please unplug anything that you're not using.
Before you leave the house, you can set the thermostat to 78 degrees so your system will not run all day. Then officials say if you have a smart thermostat, you can lower it to a cooler temperature before you get home. The Archery Shooters Association began today and will continue through Sunday in Laurel County. Archers at the event represent almost 40 different states in the U.S. and some traveled from out of the country. If you're in the area and interested in watching the pros or the non-pros, or if you want to give archery a shot, the events are going on all day at the fairgrounds all weekend long.
The one thing we're most proud of as far as what we deliver to the community in addition to the economic impact is the fact that this event allows anybody to come out and see the competition.
Along with watching some competition, you can grab a snow cone or a bite to eat from a food truck and check out all the latest gear from dozens of trailer shops set up around the venue. It may be early June, but the West Virginia State Fair is already on a lot of folks' minds. The ticket booth officially opened on Wednesday. Until opening week, you can get discounted general admission tickets, and concert tickets are also available. The fair's box office manager says she loves seeing people excited to return to the summer event.
I think through generation after generation, people have done this, and it just, I know myself, I've got a lot of memories from before when I was young, and it's really exciting.
The State Fair of West Virginia will be held in Fairleigh from August 11th through August 20th. This year's theme is Mountain Grown Fun.
Well, the last of our spotty storms pushing out of the mountains tonight, leading into a much calmer finish to the work week and start of the first weekend of June. Outside right now, it's all quiet. I-75 at Mount Vernon. Traffic moving just smoothly at this hour. Still dealing with some wet roads from the last of the storms, at least with that first cluster that have pushed out of downtown Whitesburg, sitting at 65 right now with a dew point of 65, and having seen some showers earlier today, some of us are going to have to deal with some of that patchy, dense fog overnight. It was rather temperate today. Many of us into the low to middle 80s. How about Middlesboro checking in at 86? Everybody else only got up into the low 80s today. And we remain a little bit on the warm side, mid to upper 60s, couple low 70s out there. Those will continue to diminish as we head into tonight as drier air works in. Last of our showers pushing through portions of McCreary and Whitley counties tonight. It's about to go south of downtown Williamsburg, across I-75, not far from Jellicoe Mountain. But other than that, we're all quiet. The last of our frontal boundary pushing on to the south and east. We've got high pressure building in for the weekend, and it's looking much nicer. Showers and storms ending tonight, mid-50s overnight, as we bring on some beautiful weather for tomorrow. I've got the latest details on that and when showers and storms could return coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Members of the business community in Hazard and Perry County met tonight to recap a year in local business development. WYMT's Zach Hawk was there for the Hazard Perry County Economic Development Alliance annual meeting.
The Hazard Perry County Economic Development Alliance was formed by business owners committed to growing the region. Alliance Director Zach Lawrence says they are capping off a great fiscal year and remain excited for the future.
We were one county in East Kentucky that got to actually grow on the last census, so I think as far as our population, the look and what we've got going here, we've got the population to go to work.
Alliance Chairman Joe Grossman says capitalizing on a strong workforce requires partnership with public officials.
We have worked together with the county and the city officials with One East Kentucky to really try to boost employment here in the Perry County area, and in particular here in the Coalfields Industrial Park.
Grossman says the job creation in the industrial park continues to be a roaring success. And with more jobs on the way, Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander is thinking up ways to find workers for these positions.
I think that we're going to have to start recruiting people to come back home to fill some of the jobs that we have. And there's no better place than to live in Appalachia and raise your family. And now it's time we start telling that story along with the good jobs that we have.
Grossman told us the Alliance hopes recent success in job creation inspires more local businesses to join them and continue their work.
The more people who are gainfully employed in the community, those all become your gainfully employed customers down the road. So, you know, that axiom of the rising tide lifts all boats, their boat gets lifted as well.
Officials say new Alliance members will fill critical roles on the board and contribute ideas for future growth. In Perry County, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
The annual meeting was held at the Dashcore aluminum facility in the Coalfields Regional Industrial Park. Now, Dashcore gave folks a tour of their 300,000 square foot facility. It's a pretty amazing place. In operation since spring of 2020, the facility is eyeing its first significant expansion now, with officials telling us that they'll be looking to fill more than 30 positions this summer. Company officials will begin hiring general laborers with a job fair later in June.
Experience will give them a leg up, but we are looking for people who have no experience as well. We do all the training here at the plant.
The fair will be on June 16th from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Starting pay is $13.75 an hour plus benefits. Those interested will need to bring a photo ID and Social Security card. The fair will be at the factory in the industrial park. Ford is making changes to how it will sell electric vehicles. They will no longer be sold at dealerships. Instead, buyers will order online. The price listed will also be the sale price. There will be no negotiating. Ford CEO made the announcement this week. Tomorrow marks 6 years since the world lost one of its most iconic athletes, Louisville's native son, Muhammad Ali. A festival marks the anniversary of Ali's death while celebrating the impact he had on Louisville and the world. There will be several events tied to the festival, including fitness, art, history, community service, family activities, and more. Tomorrow, Ali's family will also kick off a public awareness campaign. They are working to get his image put on a postal stamp. A statue was unveiled of the late Henry Hank Aaron at the Louisville Slugger Museum today. Aaron, depending on who you ask, is the home run king, but he is also a distinguished humanitarian, the winner of the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2002, an idol for people across the country like Bob Olerman, who just happened to be stopping by the museum from Wisconsin today.
It's like, oh my God, my childhood idol. I went to a game in 1965 against the Cincinnati Reds, still a fan today. So it is really exciting.
Muhammad Ali once said Aaron was the only person he admired more than himself. Also in Louisville, bars and elected officials are taking steps to make customers safer. Police say the Highlands neighborhood has seen a rise in sexual assault cases since the Kentucky Derby. While police investigate who's committing the crimes, Councilwoman Cassie Chambers Armstrong has worked to find a solution. Now a $1,000 pilot program is providing stickers at bars in the Highlands area for free. They detect drugs in drinks and can be used to monitor drinks.
Whenever you go out and you want to test a beverage, you put one single drop on it and it changes colors if there's something in there that would be concerning.
And although the stickers aren't a guaranteed solution, bartenders hope it's a step in a safer direction to keep customers safe. Still to come at 11, Eastern Kentucky's American Idol is reflecting on an incredible journey.
And after that, the weekend forecast is looking much nicer after a stormy couple of days. The complete breakdown on the way next.